In previous tournaments, because I mean we got to a semi-final 3 years ago in the World Cup, albeit by having a friendly route, if you like. But I think with the talent that we've got in this England squad, it's the best we've had for a long time. We've got some, particularly in forward positions, we've got some serious talent. I mean, when you add the likes of Mount and Foden and Sancho and Rashford, maybe Grealish, and all these guys to Harry Kane, then that's some serious talent in that position. So I don't think scoring goals will be a problem for us and creating. My slight concern would be at the other end in terms of defensively, whether the further we go in the tournament, we can keep them out.
Yeah. What in the last tournament? I was there in Russia. Unbelievable. So much fun. But it did feel like what was missing was that sort of creative spark. You know, I looked at somebody like Modric maybe, and thought that's what England don't have to get a bit further. Do you feel like that's coming at least those kind of players from the youth pool that we've got?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and also not many good things to come out of COVID, but it's a year on. They've got another year's experience under their belt. The likes of Foden and Mount, who I think will play huge parts in anything England will do this summer. So, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with those players, they're able to lock the door. I mean, Mason Mount's had a brilliant season. Phil Foden has. They're going head to head in the Champions League final. So that is serious talent there, and guys who can pick a pass. And you're going to need that, and that's what you need to do to open up defences at that level.
Yeah, I think so. It's just, you know, the rigidity, the solidity was there last time, but not quite the sort of nous in front of goal, the sort of last pass and stuff. With England, you know, there's got to be main contenders, and I think France might be an obvious one, but who are you thinking the main contenders will be?
Yeah, I mean, France will be favourites, and rightly so. I mean, when you look at some of the players that they have in their squad, Mbappe, Griezmann, Pogba, they've just added Benzema, so that's why they're favourites, and rightly so. And I think they'll be there. Whoever finishes ahead of France will win it, I think. I know they're in a tough group: France, Germany, Portugal, if I'm correct in saying so. And England may face one of those in the next round if we get through, depending on where we finish in our group and depending where one of those finish.
Yeah, and with sort of the talent that you're going to watch, I mean, you're kind of used to watching Premier League. That's what we know you for as a sort of pundit around that. Is there players that maybe you don't see as much that you can't wait to sort of really cast your eye?
Yeah, looking forward to see some Portugal. I mean, João Felix at Portugal, he had that huge move, didn't he, from Benfica to Atletico. He's probably about to win La Liga. So Portugal will be serious contenders as well with some of the players that they have. I mean, we all know Ruben Diaz is coming and what he's done for Man City. So if you add that to the talent that they already have, and João Felix, and of course Ronaldo, I mean, Ronaldo's sat at the top of the European scoring charts, him and Platini on 9 goals. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Ronaldo went out and in a blaze of glory again, which is sort of could sum up his career.
Yeah, with Ronaldo, he's kind of added that legacy of sort of European, achievement with his national team to his club legacy as well. How special is that in your lifetime? Is there anyone you can compare that to, the level of achievement he's had for club?
No, I don't think you can. I mean, we've lived through an era of 2 of the greatest players we'll ever see play football in Ronaldo and Messi. So we've been lucky in that respect. I mean, those 2 guys have taken the goal scoring charts to new levels, and they've just been phenomenal. And with his career, as I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he went out with one big bang, and maybe this could be it for him. I'm certain that he'll get another goal to make him the Euros top scorer in tournaments.
Yeah.
He seems to have every other record, so he'll no doubt he'll end up getting this one as well.
As a pure goal scorer, something you must admire. Like, what have you seen Ronaldo add to his game over the years? Like that you think makes
yeah, well, I mean, when you look at the young Ronaldo who came here to England, to Man United, there was flicks and tricks and perhaps too much showboating at times. You still get the flicks and tricks now, but you get them in the right areas at the right times. But it's one thing getting to the top of the tree. It's another thing staying there, and to have stayed there for so long, you have to admire his determination, his grit, because everyone knows who you are. The whole world knows who he is, what he's good at. And every player that goes in is trying to stop that. Where do you get that hunger from and that desire to wake up every morning, to go to training, to be better, to play, to go out and prove everyone wrong when you've got that much wealth? That for me is the most impressive thing about him.
Yeah, you had a bit of that though, because with the Premier League record that you hold, part of it was your longevity, and it's not easy to have that hunger. So, where did that come from you, and where might that be similar with him?
Yeah, I appreciate that. How hard it is to get to. That's why I say it's tough getting to the top, but it's even tougher staying there, and that's why I admire him so much. So it comes from my parents. I was brought up. When I went to Southampton as a 15-year-old kid, I was by no means. I wasn't the best footballer there within the group that I was there, but what I was better than anyone else at was I worked harder than anyone else, and perhaps had a better attitude to make myself better than I was, and I think Ronaldo's without doubt done that also.
When your sort of goal tally comes down year on year, you probably felt it where you'd scored 30 and then it went to 25 and then 20. Still great totals, but maybe hard to take as a footballer. How did you feel that sort of period when you were sort of winding down your career, still contributing, but maybe had to work even harder just to get your 20s than you did for your 30s?
Well, I think what never leaves you is your ability to score goals, your ability to be in that position, and your speed of thought. But what does leave you is thought from thinking up there to that reaction to actually getting there, and that's the one thing that leaves you. Your reaction time becomes a little bit slower, and once you lose that a yard of pace. I mean, I did, but my goal scoring was never really affected that much, and I could also always score my fair share of goals, but I knew before anyone knew that it was time to call it a day, and I had to retire from England at 30 to get me another 5 or 6 years playing at the highest level to do that, because of the 3 serious injuries that I had. I mean, I missed in total nearly 3 years of football.
Yeah. I think that's probably the one thing Ronaldo hasn't had, the injuries. He's had a bit of luck there, but is that also just sort of testament to his preparation? And do you think the modern footballer has been influenced by that? Because when I talk to footballers, they always say he's their idol now.
No, I get that. I totally understand that. I mean, yeah, to have played for that long and to have been that successful, it's impossible for him to have done that without living his life right and doing the right things and training every day to maximum, and taking on board what I suppose scientists, physios, doctors are all telling them, and for him to do that. And that's why he's still playing at the highest level now and still scoring goals.
Yeah, I guess you didn't have as much advice as he had when you were in your
No,
career.
I mean, yeah, there's I think in terms of sports science now and the pitches and how pristine they are, and what's available to players now, then there's really no excuse for you not to be right when you go out onto a football pitch.
It's amazing, like watching the Match of the Day podcast. Like I forget like how bad the pitches really were, even 15 years ago. It's
yeah. That's been the big change in our game, a huge change. I mean, all over the world, the pitches from 20 years ago to even to now is a huge difference. I mean, they're playing on billiard tables now in every single at every single training session, at every single game. Whereas certainly when I started in the 80s, the pitches were a mess.
Yeah,
and a lot worse for the players before me as well.
Yeah, it felt like the Sunday League pitches that I played on. So yeah, it wasn't much difference between Pro and Sunday League.
Exactly.
When we're talking about Golden Boot contenders, I mean, Kane's already done it at World Cup. So how do you think Harry Kane's a better player now than he was even 2 years ago? And how important?
Yeah, I do actually. I think it's. I mean, I know Jose has had criticism, and probably rightly so, because of his time as manager at Spurs didn't work out. But I think Harry's had one of his best seasons in terms of overall. You've seen the whole package with Harry. You've seen the assists, you've seen the goals. That hasn't dropped. That's improved, and I think he's a better player now than he was 3 years ago in the World Cup. Maybe perhaps more of a team player.
Yeah. I mean, that the way he shifts from number 10 to number 9 and still gets in there is just incredible.
His numbers haven't dropped, but his team performances have upped. If you get what I mean, his assists are brilliant, bringing people into the game, linking play, and he's superb at doing both of those jobs.
Yeah, and the consistency of his strikes as well. The amount of clean contacts he gets in difficult positions is crazy.
He's not shy. He's not shy like every good striker, like Ronaldo or Mbappe or whoever. He's not shy to get his shot away, and rightly so.
Do you think that maybe in a global sense he's a bit underappreciated, and that this sort of news that we've had in the last week was always going to happen? Because to me, he should be constantly put up there with Lewandowski's and stuff like that, but maybe sometimes he's forgotten a little bit.
I don't know abroad, but I'm certainly not underappreciated or undervalued in this country.
Yeah.
I think we're all well aware of what he can do. He shouldn't be underappreciated abroad. He won the Golden Boot in the World Cup. He's a phenomenal footballer, and he's probably made the right decision. Well, he has made the right decision in doing what he's doing. I mean, whether that's going to be sorted out before the Euros, I very much doubt it.
Yeah. How much do you think he's worth, and how much is that a problem as well? Is he almost too good to get out of there because the way football is now?
Yeah. Daniel Levy, I'm sure, will play hardball. We don't know if anything was said prior to last season. He may have gone in and said he wanted to leave last season. They said, give us one more year. So we don't know whether there was some sort of deal struck or not. But I don't know. It'll be over 100 million, and Spurs will rightly want to fight their corner because he's got 3 years left on the contract.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be easy, I don't think, getting him out of Tottenham. What we can guarantee is that there'll be some serious big hitters after his signature.
Yeah.
What the transfer will be, we haven't a clue, but I'd be confident it would be over 100 million.
And that probably limits who can afford him as well. So you probably could name the clubs. Everyone knows which clubs can sort of pay that. And maybe even in COVID times, the numbers, the clubs that usually could pay that have gone down as well. So what would you think that, would you ever advocate a move abroad as well? Because I know you had the chance, I think I read anyway, that Juventus and Barcelona came for you at one point as well. Would you ever advocate that kind of option, and what kind of decision?
Well, other players, only I can't answer that. I never went abroad. He may want to, he may not. I don't know. That all depends on his family, I suppose, and who can agree a deal to him. I would be surprised if he already doesn't know his options.
Yeah.
If he's made the decision to say he wants to leave, I would guess he knows what options he's got already.
Yeah.